I was thinking a lot about the body language of trees, and I wanted to explain a little bit about how we can read the body language of trees. Um, so we assume that trees stand there and they're kind of just swayed by the wind, like they're at the wind's mercy, like the wind just moves them around like some kind of rag doll or something. Um, I realised that when you sit and watch trees for long enough, that you find that they actually move in ways that are not always just forced by the wind. Um, an example is, I'm a dog owner. I have a dog that's 5 years old. But when we first got her, she was really little. And some days, her face would be bright and cheerful and cheery, and other days, she would have a really kind of the only way I could describe it was like rat-like type of facial features. Now, I never owned a dog before, so I had no idea that dogs had like expressions, facial expressions. And so I had to sit here and learn that this dog would feel emotions, and then her face would show me how she was feeling, and then her body would also show how she was feeling. So I would look at this dog, and I had humans to go by, and so when I saw her do a certain body movement, I thought about how humans move, and then I was able to over time realize that dogs have body language. This took some time, as it was, my first ever dog, and it was my first time interacting with dogs. So it's kind of the same with the trees, in the sense that with trees, when they are interacting with you, they are going to show certain types of body language. Um, One thing I will say that I feel the communication is through imagery. And how it began, how I started communicating, was when I would sit and look at a tree, I would wonder how old that tree was. I would wonder how it felt to be that tree. And then certain things would happen in the tree that would make me think of the way a dog reacts. Because dogs, we cannot communicate via speaking, so I didn't expect to be able to communicate with words from the tree. So with dogs, you had body language. So when the tree would send over the message of excitement, in my mind I would see a little dog with its tail wagging, and maybe it was panting or something like that, and it was showing me the sign of excitement. And as I was having this image of this dog panting and its tail wagging, I was also seeing how the tree was showing its sign of excitement. So whenever I got another image in my mind, it doesn't always have to be with dogs. It could be a social situation that you saw. It could be a movie or an actor, a situation that you saw that caused an emotion within you. If you're sitting and you're communicating with the tree, and you find the image come into your mind, and you ask yourself what emotion that image made you feel, or what you understood of that image, then this is most likely what the tree is communicating with you. And once you understand that image and you can see it on the tree, then you kind of no longer need the images in your mind to interpret what the tree is doing with its body language. Trees stretch, trees sunbathe, trees laugh, trees shake themselves around. And trees are able to use the momentum of the wind to do what they want when it's to do with movement. They're not just subject to the wind, in the same way that I use gravity to move how I want. And yes, I am bound by gravity, and I do need gravity to move, but gravity assists me to move in the way that I want to move. And it's the same thing with the trees. So once we understand that trees have their own body language, we can first break the communication barriers by having a translator. And the simplest translator I can think of, if you're a dog owner especially, and you know how dogs communicate, you can use the image of a dog and then move on to social situations and other images that might help you understand the emotion that the tree is giving to you. Most importantly, you shouldn't try to force anything. A lot of people try to establish a connection instead of realizing that the connection is already within you, that there is already a connection made, and that you just have to pay attention to it. So let your imagination run If you start daydreaming about other things, be conscious of what you're daydreaming about, because you might not just be daydreaming. The tree might be actually communicating images to you and communicating to you via those images. So be conscious of your thoughts and watch your thoughts, observe your thoughts. I wouldn't say don't try to clear your thoughts, because if you're opening yourself up to a communication, you just have to say, I'm ready to communicate, and then just sit there and just be with this tree. And I guess that's all I wanted to say about it today.